Hello, everyone. Welcome to the presentation of the research study, which was investigated by me, Akniyet Abilda. And the topic of the research study is usage of online language learning platforms in second language acquisition of junior students. So here is the content of this presentation. First, I'll talk about significance and purpose of this research study. Next, I'll talk about research questions, methods, data collection tools, and participants. And then I'll talk about literature review, research stages, results, and discussion. Lastly, I'll talk about conclusion. So the purpose of this research study was to define the perceptions of students on the aspects of online language learning platforms that enhance their productive skills. The next aim was to identify students' attitudes towards online learning. So significance of the study. Many students may not foster their productive skills in traditional classroom due to many reasons, and face-to-face learning may not be the most effective way to improve their speaking and writing skills. Therefore, students search for substitutes that are not only time-saving and useful, but also they need a wide variety of information sources to study. And there were two research questions and one sub-question. First research question was, what kind of online language learning platforms do junior students use at SDU? Second research question was, what are the pros and cons of online language learning programs? And sub-question was, what are the attitudes of students towards face-to-face instruction and online learning? So second part is methodology part. In order to meet the objectives of the study, a mixed approach was used, which included quantitative and qualitative approaches, methods. And in order to investigate the study further, questionnaire was used as a part of quantitative data collection, and interview was used as a second instrument and as a part of qualitative data collection. And the aim of the interview was to explore opinions and perceptions of participants. So there were 22 participants in this research, and participants were all third-year students from TFL to Foreign Language for Department of Süleyman Demirel University. And of course, there were many scholarly works that are reviewed in the literature review, and some of them are here listed. Hussein's teaching productive skills to the students, Sai's e-learning and English teaching, portrays the pros and cons of e-learning for foreign languages, and San and Chen's online education and its effective practice. So in my literature review, I gave definitions for some terms and concepts. So one of them is online learning, which is a type of learning that is conducted and delivered through the web, and students are given a chance to choose when and where to study. It was according to Denon. And similarly, Sai said that the availability creates environment to learn English, and e-learning helps to study English whenever and anytime and anywhere, says Sai. And also, according to Hossein, productive skills can be considered as the most important part, and it helps to improve students in communicative aspects. So online learning do not provide social interaction while in traditional classroom, students learn with their peers, and there are live conversations with students to improve their language skills, said Kircher. And according to a study conducted by Sai about the improvement of language skills of Chinese people for higher education, he said that e-learning is very important because they have self-study abilities, and e-learning gives richer materials and textbooks for students to improve their language skills. So now I'll talk about the research stages. So first stage was review previous research works on online learning and the second language acquisition. Next step was defining terms and concepts and writing up a literature review. Third step was focusing on online learning platforms and productive skills. And the fourth step was preparing instrumentation and developing them, like revising and redesigning questionnaires and interviews. And next stage was collecting and analyzing and discussing the gathered data from participants. And the last step was including this data in the research study and summing up the research paper. So next part is results and discussion part. Here are the key quantitative findings. According to the answers of participants, about 32% of students believe that the programs had more directly affected their academic achievement. However, while 13% of students said that there were no influence at all on their school performance. Also, 57% of students supported the view that online language learning platforms improve their productive skills. However, 4% of participants did not agree on this view, and furthermore, the percent of students who neither agreed or disagreed with the statement make up 38%. Also, here are the key qualitative findings from the interview of the participants. So respondents believe that the main advantage of online learning is accessibility and one's learning at their own pace. And also participants stated that the online learning does not have opportunities, while face-to-face learning has some real-life communication opportunities. And some platforms may not be free, and they may require a full. They may require subscription to get full access to full content. And face-to-face learning preferred over the online learning by participants, and so participants said that it depends on how and whom you are instructed by. And they said that it was also mentioned that online learning is more effective than the face-to-face instruction. It was answers of 3 participants. So discussion part. So the results of the questionnaire interviews of 22 junior students indicated that learning a language online is to a certain extent helpful, and the main advantage of online learning is that students can learn at their own pace. And I hope that results met the expectations of the research study, because it was aim of the research study was to identify students' attitudes and perceptions towards online learning. However, there were some unexpected results, because it was the main disadvantage of online learning platforms wasn't because of the content of their platforms. However, it was the students' own personality and temperament. And these results differ due to students' condition, situation of students' learning environment and their pace. Also, the findings of this study relates to the other scholarly works and opinions. For example, for Sai's opinion, that language acquisition does not depend on grammar and invalid exercises, he said, but on students' own constant practice. So also, online learning encourages students to expand their individual perspectives, he stated. And however, while previous works focused on the effect of online learning on the language, however, this study demonstrated that students can improve their productive skills by using different platforms. So here is the conclusion. I hope that new information was provided about how junior students improve their productive skills with the help of online language platforms. And I think that gap in the knowledge of previous studies was studied. And if this research study was unable to address the areas of influence of online learning on the achievement of academic achievement of students, so the further researchers should take into account that factor, and it is recommended to collect and establish more data on the experience with the students' experience with digital learning and face-to-face interaction, and compare these two instructions. So thank you for your attention. See you.